Hi, I'm Steve from Pragmasis. We're the manufacturer of the Double Doofer removable ground anchor. This is a brief overview of the Double Doofer. This is the Double Doofer ground anchor. As far as we know, it is the only high-grade removable ground anchor on the market. It has Salt Secure Ground Anchors Gold approval and is approved by the UK Police and is police preferred specification. Now, we designed this specifically to allow the anchor to be removed, such as if you're moving house, perhaps in rented accommodation, or simply intending to move things around in your garage sometime in the future. It is a large capacity anchor, able to take up to a Protector 19mm chain. Many ground anchors on the market are simply too small to take a decent chain. Note that this anchor is not big enough to take the Protector 22mm Titan chain, and it can't take more than one 16mm chain, for instance, so it doesn't have the same capacity as our torque anchor. Now, if I take this apart, I remove these plates, which are not used for the larger chains. You can see the Double Doofer is basically a two-part anchor with a hardened steel cover plus a heavy-duty fabricated base plate. The idea is that the cover is held in position with a close-fitting chain locked through it. And the cover prevents access to the bolts. Unlike our other anchors, we don't use the ball bearing trick in the bolt head, as that would prevent the anchor being removed. The whole point with this anchor is you can remove it. Now, I said we rely on a close-fitting chain being locked through this anchor in order for it to be secure. This is critical. If you use a thinner chain and don't fill the space completely, there is a chance a thief will be able to lift the cover and get access to the bolts, perhaps with a modified Allen key coming in through that gap. And if they can get access to the bolts, they can undo the bolts and the anchor can be defeated. So it is important that this space is adjusted in order to prevent too much movement, too much lifting of the cover. So we do that by using the Doofer adapter plates, as they're called. So if I slide both of these plates into position, and they have a cutout on the side which locates, and you can only put them in when the chain is not in position. So we now have two plates in position. I'll grab the same chain. This is a Protector 13mm chain, and now we'll put it through. It's a much tighter fit. And even if I bias the chain in the wrong direction, you can see I've got far less movement. I can't lift the cover anything like as much. And that means that the fixings are concealed, a thief can't get at them, even with a modified Allen key, so the ground anchor is secure. And as I say, this adjustment of the gap inside the anchor is critical in order for the anchor to be secure. Sometimes you need to loop the chain through twice in order to fill the space efficiently, and this is one of our Protector 11mm chains, and you can see I've put it looped through twice to give that nice snug fit that we need. The instructions explain this more fully for various of our chains, but beware, the anchor will not be secure with some lower grade chains, etc., and certainly not with cable locks. The Double Doofer uses 4 high tensile fixing bolts. We think 4 bolts is really the minimum for any high grade ground anchor. People often don't realise that it is the substrate, the concrete, or even more so the brick that the anchor is fitted to, that is usually the weak point. So having just 1 or 2 strong bolts is missing the point. It's normally far better to have more fixings and to spread them out, so we can use a much larger fixing area and thus get much more strength from the substrate, whatever that may be. Now, the Double Doofer is fitted with expanding bolts, otherwise known as shield anchors or raw bolts. These are not as strong as the resin fixings we offer with our other ground anchors, but they are not removable, so we have little choice with the Doofer because we want the thing to be removable. 4 bolts really is the minimum when using these fixings, and we've got them well spread out to get the best result we can from the substrate. In common with our other anchors, the Doofer can be fitted by a reasonably competent DIY installer. The fitting instructions explain the process in detail. If you're not confident of your ability, then any professional builder or fitter should find it very straightforward. Now, once the anchor is fitted, you put the cover over the base loop the chain through it after adding any of the adapter plates that you require, and you lock the chain. It's important to remember that the doofer is not secure if you take that chain out. So if you intend to use the chain somewhere else, you should either have an extra chain so you can leave one locked through the doofer, or realise that a thief might be able to come and remove your anchor while you are out. And when you come back, you've got no anchor anymore to secure your property. Thieves do tricks like this. If they can compromise your security such that you can't lock up your bike, for instance, they know they may be able to come back later and steal it. So it is important that you keep this in mind and take care of your security so you can rely on it when you need it. Now, when you come to moving house, the process is quite straightforward to remove the double doofer. You simply unlock and remove the chain you had through it, undo the small screws that would normally be in position holding it all together. They're actually not significant in terms of security, they're just stopping the thing rattling about, particularly if you mount the entire anchor on the wall. So you take the screws out, remove any of the doof adapter plates, if you had any in position, and remove the cover. You can then use an Allen key to simply undo the fixing bolts. The shields, the expanding part of the fixings, normally stay in the hole. Sometimes you can get them out with a pair of pliers, for instance, but they're often not in good enough condition to use again. So we simply offer an entire new fitting kit so you can fit the anchor in a new position if you need to. So that's a quick overview of the Double Doofer ground anchor. There are dimensions and more technical details on our website. I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.